Gonzaga Nation SI with our title game preview and predictions. Well, this title game of North Carolina and Kansas isn't quite necessarily the title game that I had in my bracket when Selection Sunday came out. It wasn't what I had at the start of the season, but I think it's shaping up to be a terrific title game. So you got UNC coming in as an 8 seed, 29-9 on the season. Kansas, the only 1 seed to make the Final Four. They are still alive. They are 33-6 on the season. But Kansas, Big 12 perennial powers. North Carolina, perennial powers in the ACC. Both have had some challenges getting here to the championship game. I think if you look at Kansas's road, it was a little bit easier as far as they played better consistently throughout the tournament than North Carolina. And North Carolina had that big scare in the second round when they were up big against Baylor, the 1 seed, and then they had to go to overtime to end up advancing to the Sweet 16, and then they ended the fairy tale ride of St. Peter's and the Peacocks in the Elite Eight. But this is going to be a really fun game, I think, for a lot of reasons. Both teams like to play fast, want to play fast. Their coaches do a great job of giving their players freedom and the ability to just play, make plays. I think both teams want to be in the 80s, like I said, and I think that's because they both have some really good guard play. When you look at the NCAA tournament, Caleb Love has been tremendous. He had 28 points in the game over Duke. I think R.J. Davis has been really good at times as well for North Carolina. Leaky Black isn't the greatest of offensive players, but defensively he can create some problems, and he can score at opportune times. On the flip side, for Kansas, their backcourt is really good. Ochai Agbaji, an All-American who's continued to elevate his game each season. In Lawrence, 21 points in the semifinal win against Villanova, where he knocked down 6 of 7 from the three. He's a terrific player. He can score it from the perimeter. He can put the ball on the deck and get to the basket, put some foul pressure on you. Christian Braun is a guard with good size who can score it. DeJuan Harris doesn't turn it over. He just runs the show. He does whatever is needed for Bill Self to get them into offense, whether it's pushing in transition, whether it's get the ball down low to David McCormick in sets. He does a really good job not turning it over and controlling things. And then Remy Martin has been up and down throughout the course of the year, but to be able to have him to come off the bench as a sixth man with the experience that he has and the scoring punch that he has, the creativity he has, I think that's a huge benefit for the Jayhawks. And then you look at the interior. It's almost a toss-up with these two. David McCormick of Kansas played really well in the semifinal game with 25 points. More of a pick and pop guy, more of a pick and dive guy or a low post duck in big, as opposed to what a lot of players are these days, pick and pop kind of space on the perimeter. But it's fun matchup because UNC has almost an identical big in Armando Bacot, who's very similar. Screen, dive, post up to carve out space. Bacot was tremendous in the semifinal game, 11 points, 21 rebounds, but he sprained his ankle late in the last few minutes. It'll be interesting to see how much treatment they were able to get and how active and mobile he's going to be able to be against Kansas on Monday night. But that's going to be fun, the battle of those bigs. The other bigs for each team, Brady Mannix, kind of that pick and pop type big that I had mentioned a second ago for Carolina, transfer from Oklahoma. He can do so many different things, but I think the thing I like most about him is he plays with such confidence. He'll miss 2 or 3, he'll keep pick, pop, catch, and ready to let it go and ready to fire on the next catch if he's got a window. Mitch Lightfoot for Kansas doesn't necessarily have the size, the length, the strength of Manic, but the way that Kansas plays, he's tremendous. He does so many of the little things. He can shoot it from outside. He can carve his way on the interior. To me, he's a really good player. But I think the key tonight is going to be on the glass. The reason I say that the key is on the glass is um, North Carolina had 17 offensive rebounds against Duke the other night, but they also gave up 15. So which team is able to impose their will on the glass? Because if it's a team getting active on the offensive glass, you're getting second chance opportunities, probably putting the opposing team in foul issue opportunities. But if you're able to rebound, you're able to then get out in transition, which again both teams really want to do. They want to rebound, they want to get down the other end of the floor, and they want to create problems because and allow their guards to probe, and then they want to get into drag screen pick and rolls, and then in late post opportunities when there's nothing there in transition. So um, my pick is for this game. I've got Carolina beating Kansas for the national title in 2022 in New Orleans, the Caesars Superdome. I think the balance of Baycott on the interior. I'm hoping his ankle is going to be good enough for him to be a big impact in the game. And then the recent scoring punch of Caleb Love is just going to be too much for Kansas to overcome. And it's going to be interesting because Kansas and Bill Self, they've won one title since he's been there, but they've been knocking on the door so many times. The COVID shortened year 2020, they may have had as good a chance as anybody to win the title that season. But I think it's in year one for Coach Hubert Davis and Carolina Tar Heels. I think they're going to be cutting down the nets. So my prediction for Gonzaga Nation SI is Carolina over Kansas.